What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a brand new Madden 25 off-season rebuild as voted on by you guys. Next up is the New England Patriots. And in this video, through the power of the Ultimate Rookie PC mod, we were able to get, in this case, the best example is Mr. TreVeyon Henderson, the big running back out of Ohio State. Got the tattoos, got a somewhat accurate face scan, and with this mod, we have player portraits for all of the 2025 NFL draft class. Our rosters are fully up to date post-draft, post-free agency, and what we're going to do today is try and win a Super Bowl over the next 5 seasons. Those are traditional rebuild rules. Now, if we can't get it done within those 5 years, I'm not going to leave you empty-handed. We will go to overtime and try and go up to 6 to 10 years. Hopefully never need 10. I like to think I'm a little bit better at my job than that. But that is a time frame so that you guys eventually leave the video happy, but the end goal is to try and get that Super Bowl within the first 5 seasons. Taking a look at this Patriots team, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of work that needs to be done, and the big reason is Drake Maye. I'm a Drake Maye believer. I think this guy here is, it was my hot take that he was my quarterback one last season. It wasn't he was quarterback one and other guys I disliked. I just liked him a little bit more, and I think the talent is there. We're going to put the old C on his chest because I truly think he's going to be the man that brings us back. He is truly going to be the Tom Brady successor that the Patriots have been starving for. I think that's kind of, that feels an accurate way to describe the Patriots fan base. They've been rabid trying to get a true successor there. They get TreVeyon Henderson, and him and Rhamondre Stevenson are going to be a great 1-2 punch, very similar to what Henderson rocked and rolled with at Ohio State in college football. He was the dash to Quinshon Judkins' smash, and he's going to be the dash, and eventually he's going to be our clear-cut running back one, but for the time being, we're definitely going to utilize Rhamondre Stevenson's power that he's going to bring in that game. And blocking for him up front, you got Hunter Henry, who's a solid tight end. You got Morgan Moses, a veteran at right tackle. With him being at right tackle, we have Michael Owenu moving inside to guard. You got Jared Wilson, a freak of nature center from Georgia in this draft class. This is a guy that got, what do we got here? 77 speed, 82 acceleration, 81 strength, just 86 lead block, 85 impact block. This is a converted linebacker that when you enter the combine, you go to RAS score, relative athletic score, he's like a 9.9. He's one of the most athletic center prospects we've ever seen. So no disrespect to Bradbury, but we're definitely going with him as our starter. You got Cole Strange, we got Will Campbell, who's hinted to have popped as a star from our training camp from preseason. But still, another guy that was like a 9.98 some RAS, big-time athlete. Now there's some discourse about the arm length. I don't think that's going to be a problem. For me, in my opinion, people were asking me during the draft process. I said he's a tackle until he ain't. And in today's video, he is going to be our franchise left tackle. He's going to be Drake Maye's franchise left tackle. Looking at the wide receivers, you get Stephon Diggs, who still pulls the superstar. I was like, oh, that's a little surprising. When you look at the underlying stats of his year in Houston before he got hurt, he was still being Stephon Diggs. And not to age myself, this is probably C4's greatest draft call of all time. I did a video when he was coming out. He was my sleeper wide receiver when he was coming to Maryland. No one really knew a whole lot about him. I was like, oh, well, he's a, just because he went to Maryland, didn't put up huge stats. This guy's like a former 5-star recruit or almost 4 to 5-star recruit. He's going to be a baller, and he ended up being a baller and having a hell of a career. And now he comes to New England where he is absolutely going to command the lion's share of targets. Like in fantasy football, spoiler, I know I get a couple buddies that are in my IRL league that watch my videos. I'm going to be overdrafting Stephon Diggs in all my leagues. Because you got Demario Douglas, and from a rebuild standpoint, maybe there's something there. You got Kayshon Boutte, another guy that I thought was going to be the next big thing. Bonafide first-round pick. Got hurt, injuries, hasn't really been the same, but, he's kind of caught on a little bit last season. It'd be cool to have a little bit of a career redemption there because, again, I used to make full draft classes back in the day, and when Boutte was supposed to be like his draft class, he was like the #1 wide receiver that I was making for that class. Then he had, unfortunately, a bad injury, not a strong year at LSU, maybe some off-the-field maturity things, and he's fallen. But I think there's definitely still some talent there. You get Kyle Williams, formerly of UNLV. We did a UNLV dynasty a couple years ago, and he was our go-to guy as a freshman on UNLV. It was sick. He ended up because of college football and the transfer portal going to Washington State. But it's cool they got him, and I definitely could see him having a role as a rookie for this passing offense. But I do think, looking at this offense, that is our big worry. Who is going to be that franchise wide receiver that we can pair with Drake Maye? Is he on the roster? Because Diggs' best football is behind him. Demario Douglas is like at best a slot guy. Butte has a long way to go. We're going to have to pop a dev trade. Same with Kyle Williams. So I look at this offense and I go, all right, I feel decent about the O-line. You know, I'm going to need to freshen up a couple spots, maybe that right tackle position, but that's no biggie. Running back, I think Henderson, sky's the limit for him. Luckily, he popped a dev trade as well, but the wide receiver, we got to go get a wide receiver over the next couple seasons. Flipping to the defense. This is where Mike Vrabel is going to have to get this team back to the Patriot way, and I think he did a great job by going out and poaching Milton Williams from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, there's always a little bit of buyer beware because Milton Williams looked outstanding because he played next to Jalen Carter and he played on that Philadelphia Eagles defense. How is he going to look with, all due respect, the drastic and gigantic drop-off of talent from the Eagles defensive line to the Patriots defensive line? And the Patriots, that's not bad. Keon White's a guy that every time I've seen him play, I've been impressed. I'm going to move Barmore for the time being, just inside. He's 310 pounds. Obviously, he's more of a D-end. But I think for this rebuild, it makes a little bit more sense. Like, that is our best front three. But can Milton Williams survive without playing next to a blue-chip player? And that's going to be interesting to see. But he is a freak of nature athlete, and he has all the momentum in the world after a gigantic Super Bowl performance. And I'm hoping that he becomes a guy for us, and we can get off that star dev sooner than later. They got Harold Landry on, like, a rental, trying to solve their pass rush. I'm a little annoyed because Braden Swinson was, like, the steal. He was the guy that I was screaming for my Philadelphia Eagles to draft out of LSU. I want to get him on the field and try to develop him. Elijah Ponder, another rookie from Cal Poly. This guy was like a 9.7 res, big-time athlete. I was like, oh, cool. Like, he has, like, legitimate, when you look at his stats, like 92 acceleration. Like, I want to get this guy on the field. But the Patriots have, like, a bunch of, you know, best football behind them, win now pass rushers. That's kind of frustrating. Because, like, the gap is like, you know, I'm not going to play a 79 star because I want to get a 69 on the field. I'm not going to play Tavai at 77 because I want to get a 66 on the field. It's just, it is a weird roster. I think there's a lot of, I don't know, no one outright wants to tank. But there's a lot of, like, you know, low ceiling moves. Like Landry, meh. They signed Spillane from the Raiders. I think underrated player. But also, you know, I'm looking at this from a rebuild the same way the Patriots in real life should be looking at this as a rebuild. Where are these guys going to be at their career when this team's finally starting to turn it around? You know, Landry's going to be gone. Spillane's going to be gone. They get Gibbons. Well, I didn't know he had a dev trait from the Titans. But, like, okay, you know, he's on the right side of 30. There could be something there. We got Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar at safety. Duggar lost his dev. He's been a perennial star dev in the last couple of Maddens. Must have just lost that. But, I mean, the safeties are solid, but you know, Duggar's best football is behind him. He's already slowly starting to regress, and Peppers is pretty much at his ceiling. He's solid for the time being. But if we start struggling, like, he could be a prime trade candidate. You know, that was the big word last year at the trade deadline. It's like, Kyle Duggar's available. Is anyone going to make a move for him? No. What about Jabril Peppers? He's available. Anyone going to make a move for him? No. So we have kind of, you know, as good as we're going to get safety room. That's a positive and kind of a negative for where we're at in this rebuild. This is not, though. Christian Gonzalez is a pillar of this defense. He's going to be a pillar of this rebuild. 90 superstar. They get Carlton Davis from was he with the Bucks last year? Like, did he stop somewhere between here and the Bucks? But he most notably was with the Bucks. I think he's a very, very solid player. You got Jones in the nickel spot. So I feel decent about our corner room, but outside of Christian Gonzalez, don't know necessarily how long-term the rest of these corners are going to be. So it's a weird roster, man. This is a roster that has plenty of players. Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Morgan Moses, Cole Strange, Peppers, Duggar, Landry, Spillane, Davis, that are all like, we got to win within the next 2-3 years or we're going to be, you know, past our expiration date. We ain't going to be spoiler unless something terrifyingly insane happens that I break this game. We're probably not going to get there within the next 2 or 3 years. So it's a weird spot with a roster. That's what makes this team such an interesting rebuild. But we have the key pieces here. Drake Maye, Will Campbell, Jared Wilson, TreVeyon Henderson, Christian Gonzalez, that D-line, Milton Williams, Keon White, Barmore. I think those guys can grow and develop. We just got to figure out the rest of the spot. So without further ado, let's get into year one of this Madden 25 New England Patriots offseason rebuild. And it took all the way to week 6. We get our first player of the week, and it is in a very impressive showing in a win over the Raiders. Marcus Jones, a hat trick of interceptions. One of those being a pick 6. That honestly might be the best defensive performance of the season from any player. So here at the bye week, I'm not gonna lie, I thought we'd be a little better than 2-5. Couple teams, we lost to the Titans, which was surprising. We lost to the Dolphins, which should have been a winnable game. So that's not great with where we're at. But it's all a process here. Look at our available players. We only have $16 million of cap. Did also not know that the cap situation was this dire. Strange is a starter. I'd like to keep him, but I don't have a lot of money. 2-year, 4.8. Nice. Okay. Oh, well, he wants probably 5. 5 will get that one done. I'd like to keep Gibbons. Jones just had a hat trick of picks. So let's see. 3-year, 8.7. Done. Gibbons, 3-year, 10, probably 11. Another $1 million there. Another $500,000 on Strange. Should get those two guys re-signed. But man, oh man, this is not a good salary cap. Milton Williams, ladies and gentlemen, breaking the bank. So at the end of year number 1, the good news is our offense was really damn good. Top 5 in points, yards, top 10 in rushing yards, top 10 in rushing yard defense. Overall defense, top 20. But we go 9-8. We lose out on the playoffs. We lose out on a shocking year 1 divisional title due to a tiebreaker with the Buffalo Bills. So that's a very frustrating end to year 1. But taking a look at our numbers, I'm actually kind of excited to see how our passing numbers are. Drake Maye was 4th in yards, 4th in touchdowns. Interceptions a little high. Sacks allowed a little high. But 4,500 yards, 33 touchdowns. The positive output is very good. And if we can shave off 5, 6, 7 of those picks, which I'd like to think as he gets better, he just recently became an 80-plus quarterback, I think we're going to get there. So that is a great start. I'm happy Mike Vrabel era is starting with a little bit more offense. Shout out Josh McDaniels. When you think about, what is going to bring back the Patriot way, I think when you bring back Mike Vrabel, when you bring in Josh McDaniels, you're going to think that, maybe, just maybe, in the back of your mind, especially if you're an OG Patriot fan, we could be back, baby, if these guys can get on the same page. And at least kind of in year 1, no playoffs to show for it, but we're cautiously optimistic. 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns for TreVeyon Henderson. Still got decent involvement there from Rhamondre Stevenson. Might want to see a little bit more scrambling out of Drake Maye. He is a dual-threat quarterback. But for Henderson, that's probably going to put him right in the Offensive Rookie of the Year conversation, which would be sick. He's a star dev, and we win that award. Might give him superstar. From a receiving standpoint, we had 2,000-yard receivers. Stephon Diggs, 93 catches, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns for Boutte. Just under 1,000, but double-digit touchdowns for Demario Douglas. Tight end numbers were fine. On the defensive side, our tackles off the chains. We got a bunch of guys putting up big-time performances. 11.5 sacks, Harold Landry. 9.5 from Keon White. 16 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, Barmore. 12 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, Milton Williams. Now, given the expensive price tag that you paid for Milton Williams, you'd probably like to see him with Harold Landry's numbers. But, combined almost 20 TFLs and sacks. I think that if this is going to be his floor and we can only get better going forward, we can live with it. Interception numbers, Marcus Jones with 10 picks. He did have 3 in 1 week. But 10 interceptions from the nickel spot is insane. Now, I'm not going to, I don't want to dog that. It'd be so much cooler if that was Christian Gonzalez, developing into a bona fide elite on an island shutdown corner with production. But whatever way we can get it, we'll take it. 10 interceptions. Now, full disclosure for the defense, we are going with the Titans defense. Mike Vrabel, I don't know. It's just kind of, what else are you going to do? And if you remember, in our Cam Ward Titans rebuild, the interceptions for the Titans sim defense were very good. L'Jarius Sneed, who was our corner 1, he got, I think, 11 was the highest he got, 7, 8. We were getting big time. It's the best defense I've seen so far for interception numbers, and we are getting, at least in Marcus Jones's case, a little taste of that here with our Patriots rebuild. For whatever it's worth, in a down year, Drake Maye making the MVP shortlist. It's only beginning. We're just starting to scratch the surface there. And TreVeyon Henderson, runner-up for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Going to be very tough to beat Travis Hunter. An early award winner is a runaway, with Marcus Jones winning DB of the year with those 10 picks. And he's a star def, so that should bring him up to a star. There's a chance, as long as we don't get robbed on the regression on Christian Gonzalez, that we will end this year with 2 superstars in our secondary. So as we close out the season on the offensive side of the ball, the bad news is we lost the superstar dev on Stefon Diggs, which, I'm going to be honest, when I started this rebuild, was very surprised to see him still have his superstar dev. Both Will Campbell and Jarrett Wilson are star devs. Maybe a slight argument, especially if you're like a Patriot homer, that maybe Will Campbell could have been a Goldie boy. But we get the superstar dev increase on TreVeyon Henderson and a superstar dev increase on Drake Maye, which that's the most important spot, right? As long as Drake Maye continues with this progression, he's going to lead us to very, very good and great things. On the defensive side, we did not lose the dev trade on Gonzalez, and Marcus Jones gains his superstar dev. Outside of that, no dev traits up or down. Everyone kind of maintains, which, you know, for a team that didn't make the playoffs, that's a win. We have a retirement to start the offseason, our starting right tackle in Morgan Moses. Now, we could maybe take Michael Owenu and kick him back out to right tackle, but then that just creates a spot at guard. Either or, you know, we'll figure that out, but that's still a big loss. He was like in the 80s. And to start the offseason, we're going to decline the 5th-year option to Christian Gonzalez so we can get ahead of that contract extension next season, which is going to be very, very expensive. I think I got to do, I'm shocked with the state of the salary cap here for the Patriots. So we're going to be getting rid of some of these expensive players. Getting rid of Josh Dobbs. Blocked me on Twitter for something I said while he's at Tennessee. We're not going to rehash it. Get off my team. Kendrick Bourne, see ya. Garrett Bradbury, see ya. Alfred Jennings, even for only $1 million, see ya. Too much depth at pass rush. So we were able to go from, you know, freedom of about $20 million, which every little bit helps. Looking at free agency, we still could look for a big game changer at wide receiver, but every time we go in year one, it's always, hey, do you want Rondale Moore? Because if not, we can give you Rondale Moore, and that's not exactly what we're looking for. I didn't get rid of Stefon Diggs. I think he's still worth having on the roster for 1 year. Tight end could be, you know, I say likely he's interesting, and he's interested, but full disclosure, I made my focus scout this year tight end, because I think that I know that this is not a particularly strong wide receiver class for us to go target, but there are a couple tight ends that could give us a lot more upside than what we're having right now with Hunter Henry. On the offensive line, we either need a guard or a tackle. Would love to not invest there. We have Zach Tom, but he's on for $26 million a year. That is a very, 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 very expensive. A price that I do not really want to pay. So unless you really want to go with like a Trevor Penning experience, which, I mean, there's no one interested in him. We could go like a 2-year deal here. But also, like, you make the argument that, you know, we could get tackle BPA in the first round. So I think we might wait there. I like our D-line. Even though the production wasn't there, I'm happy with it. Our pass rush is fine. Our linebackers is fine. Secondary has good depth. And of course, even the top corner does not want to come to New England. Our safety room is solid. Do need to probably start thinking at Kyle Duggar successor. Could that be Mapu, his depth behind him? Potentially, but I mean, it's not a great market anyway, so we're probably just going to sit on the sidelines here and carry that nice cap number ahead so that come week 2, week 3 of next season, we can give pretty much a blank check for Christian Gonzalez to land a contract extension. So take a look at the most up-to-date mock draft. Our positions of need, well, we have a bunch, but I'd say right now, at least for this year, it's going to be tackle. Top tackle is going at 7, Caden Proctor. Maye is going at 12. Isaiah World's going at 13. We are at 16. We have Spencer Fano from Utah. That's probably going to be our get. I don't think there's a gigantic discrepancy in like a World or Fano. Fano, like, is the PFF #1 tackle for next year's class, was like a 93. Dunker was another guy that we scouted a little bit later. Does look like a guy Mike Vrabel would be on board with. Jennings Dunker, first team all name. Stowers at tight end, who's the top tight end. We used him, and he was so freaking good in our Falcons offseason rebuild. We went with like a Kyle Pitts, Stowers, 2. I had 2,000-yard tight ends in that rebuild. Go check it out to see how I did it. But considering tight end was the position I focused, there's a couple other tight ends, day 2. Like, I should be able to get tackle here, tight end in the 2nd round, and we'll be laughing. Oh, dude, Maye almost fell to us at 15. That would have been unreal. Damn. Again, I mean, I don't really want to be trading up. And the fact that we have a legit first round talent scouted on Fano. It's like, you know, you're splitting hairs. Fano, A run block, A pass block, A impact block, combine, pretty good. Probably not as good as Maui Goa, but 21 in true value at 16. We got a hidden dev day one starter at tackle. 2 franchise tackles locked in for the remainder of the reel. Will Campbell. Now we get Fano at right tackle. We'll be able to move Ueno into right guard. Wilson's our franchise center. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an offensive line that's going to be very good for a very long time. We're not going to have to worry about it. Now into the second round, taking a peek. I don't think any of the tight ends we wanted to target went off the board, so that is good. I will say Caden Green at 39 and Erdis Green at 40 were 2 guards that, you know, Cole Strange is kind of placeholdery. You know what I'm saying? So now we get to take a look at these tight ends, which I only focus scouted Justin Jolly from NC State. He had like 700 yards last year. And that was just because his route running stood out. He had the A short routing, A medium route running before I even fully scouted him. You also had that on RJ Maryland at SMU. You have Jack Velling and Tanner Kozoil, the 6'7" from Wisconsin. I think he actually just entered the transfer portal. He has 4.6 speed's not bad. I don't know, man. I feel like in this, you just trust the scouting. Second, third round. Combine's pretty good. Elite jumping, elite change of direction. The question is, does he have a dev trait? If he doesn't have a dev trait, that's going to suck. If he does have a dev trait, I'll feel pretty good about it. There's no dev trait there. Brutal! Third round, we got a guy, nose tackle. Need a nose tackle. 6'4", 320. Had a little bit of depth there. B power, A tackle, B blocks. Had Lee Hunter. Central floor, 27 in true. Of course, no dev trait. But for a third round pick, you get a top 30 talent, first round caliber talent. That's a win. Taking a look at our draft recap, Spencer Fano ends up being a 74 dev trait player at right tackle. 71 for Justin Jolly, a little bit lower than what I would have expected. Crushed in the third round with Lee Hunter, 73. We got in the fourth round, Bragnon, the guard from Oregon, with a 70. The speedy Jermaine Matthews from Ohio State, 68. A 67 for Manu and Joshua Josephs, kind of just adding some depth there to the linebacking core, getting some special teamers. But all in all, 4 70-plus players. Maybe only one with a dev trait to kind of put that in perspective. But overall, not a bad starting class. And we got 2 players at positions of need that are pretty solid. As of where we went in the draft, kind of made Hunter Henry, he's blocking the path for Justin Jolly to get on the field as a rookie to maximize his ceiling. So his career is going to go full circle. Going back to the Chargers, able to get a future 4th round pick. And Hunter Henry, I mean, almost 700 yards, still has a dev trait. I feel like that's fair value. Might not get that in real life, but I think that's fair. So we're going into our bye week here, number 2, 4-2. Our offense is scoring the most points of the league, coming off a 55 bomb against the Dolphins a couple weeks ago. Passing offense, Drake Maye on point. Everything else, still trying to figure it out. Also, will say, full disclosure, first half of the season, pretty easy. We got the Bills, Chiefs, Vikings off the bye. I think our tough games are coming on the back end of the schedule. But 4-2 is 4-2. Very happy to be here. Contract-wise, $89 million. We got to get Gonzalez. He's looking for a 6-year, $126 million. Not even going to think twice about it. That is easy. I think Demario Douglas, regardless of, you know, maybe the future of the wide receiver position here, he could be a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. So I'd like to get him on a 4-year, $42 million deal. I think that's very reasonable. Keon White, got Micah Ueno. I definitely want Ueno here. 3-year, $27.5 at guard. I like Butte. It's a little more expensive, to be honest with you, but 3-year, 36, probably 38. We'll get that one across the line. I do think long term, like those are dudes that I want in our in our wide receiver room. Keon White looking for a 3-year deal. Yeah, again, I think past the sniff test. You know, he's going to get a lot of TFLs. He's going to play the run, so I think he's worth that contract. We'll come back for Butte. And that's some good business. I'm happy that we didn't spend unnecessarily in free agency last year, so we have all the money to pay these guys this year sweat-free. We were 4-2. We are now 5-7. Luckily, able to, like, you know, stabilize the ship here a little bit. Not looking great for playoffs. Bills are on one right now at 10-2 for us to catch up. But slightly good news is Milton Williams kind of went off here this week. Get back in the win column. Milton Williams with a hat trick of sacks. Also had a defensive touchdown. So maybe that will spark a win streak to end this out. Maybe we challenge for a wild card spot. But damn, oh damn, man. 4-2 to 5-7. What? So from year 1 where we went 9-8 and we're a tiebreaker away from winning the division to make the playoffs, this year we go 6-11. Even though a hot 4-2 start. And you look at it, like, well, the passing yards still pretty good. So, like, Drake Maye, I assume, had a decent season. Our pass yard defense was good last year. But look at that, 30th ranked defense. That is a, twice as worse as we were a year ago. And our points per game last year were top 10, 25th. So, very frustrating campaign. Looking at the stats here, Drake Maye was top 10 in yards and touchdowns. Whoa, 23 picks, 59% completion percentage is not good. That is 8 more picks than he threw a year. That is, That's probably going to cost him his superstar dev. Didn't get 1,000 yards running. Had 2,000 yards. I mean, almost hit that again. Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas, 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns, 9 and 4 digs. Butte, 8 and 9. So he's playing well. The rookie Justin Jolly, 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. Henderson was more of a weapon out of the backfield. So, I mean, Henderson's combined stats look a little better, over 1,000 yards from scrimmage. Defensively, Peppers with 190 tackles. We had 12 sacks on 19 TFLs from Milton Williams. Solid year from Barmore. 7 sacks from Ponder, 6.5 from Swinson. So I did get the 2 young bucks out there a little bit more. Over, like, the Harold Landrys of the world. And those guys made the most of their opportunities. Especially Ponder. They have 19 total tackles. 6 of them are TFL, 7 are sacks. Incredible production. But where did our picks go? We had 10 picks a year ago for Marcus Jones. This year, it's Duggar with 4. Happy with Gonzo there, getting 3. But as we look at our team, very, very lucky to not lose the dev trade on Drake Maye. I thought for sure that was going to hit. Dude, that is... Can't have that happen again. You could tempt fate and test fate once. Twice, we will be punished next season. I will absolutely guarantee that. The hidden dev on Fano is just a star. Wow, Stephon Diggs regressed. I mean, again, we can pop Douglas and Butte. It would be nice if Butte get a dev trade, but both 83 overall players on the right side of 30. Maybe don't have that true game changer. I'm also very disappointed, man. I guess the overall yards of scrimmage over 1,000, but I thought Henderson was going to be an automatic 1,000 yards every single season. On the defense, as far as dev traits up or down, we did not have any dev traits up or down. Everyone maintained, I think, for a down year, similar to last year. Can't hate it. Like, I'm happy we still have our two superstar corners here. Actually, that's a lie. Duggar went from normal up to a star. All right, cool. I think we lost the star on Landry, but he barely sniffed the field. Ponder earned more reps, to be honest with you. I mean, I almost feel like after this year, we should accept the option and see what we're getting in Drake Maye. I'm going to guess, this year is more of an outlier. In year 1, where, he got his superstar dev trade, I'm going to gamble that he'll get back to that going forward. And with Drake Maye's contract coming up, there's no one. No one I can sign. No one worth signing that I'm looking at anyways. So we're just going to chill. Yeah, that's a lie. I'm going to try to get Trenton Simpson. Freak of nature middle linebacker, I think. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's a win because Spillane is regressed like 3 points this offseason. So there we go. We can invest in a linebacker. That's still, I think we're going to have enough to sweat-free word of the day. Don't have to worry about it. Not panicking to pay Drake Maye. What the hell is going on, dude? Jeremiah Smith, projected to go 23rd. Jeremiah Smith goes, okay, we got Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith. Those are the big 2. I was like, I'm going to have to trade. I don't know how far I'm going to have to trade up, but I will be aggressive. I want one of those wide receivers. Jeremiah Smith is projected to go below Jordan Tyson, below Nick Harbor. So what happens when this happens is that there was a news story that RNG happened. Jeremiah Smith's not even going. There's no way. See, this is the worst case scenario because I now have no fucking idea where he's going. There is no way Jeremiah Smith is falling out of the first round. 0 chance. But according to Mock Draft 5, he's not sniffing it. I don't see any news stories here. You got Ryan Wingo showing up overweight, so that's going to cause him to fall a little bit. But I have no idea why Jeremiah Smith is falling. At all. Because look, watch this. We'll go here. He's fallen 32 spots. Why? I mean, why? So what I'm still going to treat it like I'm not getting screwed by this. I'm not going to go, oh my God, dude, he's going to fall to us at 9. No, I'm going to move up. We're going to see. Like, assuming first pick goes Dylan Stewart, second pick goes Ryan Williams, I would like to say 4. Because, I mean, that is still a win. But assuming that these first 3 go this first 3, then I could be maybe optimistic that, you know, I don't know what, hit and run, drug bust. Like, not only did he fail a drug test, he had selling them on Ohio State's campus for him to fall. He's the best player in this class, probably. You know what? Maybe second best. Dylan Stewart's also a freak, 4 A's across the board, generational type player. But I think 4 will be the. I'm not sitting there at 9 and watching him go between us. I need him. So I'm not really any further ahead because assuming that he went when he was supposed to go, he's almost always a lock for the top 3 picks. I've seen Ryan Williams go ahead of him sometimes. But assuming Colin Simmons goes here, all right, we are going to call the Chicago Bears, and I'm going to have to pay whatever price it is to trade up as well. I've got screwed far too many times just sitting and waiting for players. Not this time. Mike Vrabel, Ohio State guy. Chance to get generational Ohio State guy. It's a match made in heaven. So move up a couple spots and out outside the premium of a top 3 pick. It only cost me my 5th round this year, as well as my 2nd rounder next year. I didn't want to give up my 2nd rounder this year. I really want to try to target a safety with Duggar, even though he went up dev trade. He's getting pretty close here. But the fact that I did not have to trade up to the 1st and or 2nd overall pick for a guy that clearly is, you know, he might be the most dominant receiver I've seen in college football in a very long time. Jeremiah Smith, I don't know what you did to tank your stock, but I appreciate you. You probably saved me. I don't think it would have cost me honestly, you might have saved me that 2nd round pick having to be a future 1st round pick because of whatever you did. So for that, thank you. Now the 2nd round, Toledo's put some DBs in the NFL. Quinyon Mitchell. We have Brandon Allis, who the letter grades don't look the best. The talent grade doesn't look the best. However, I kind of want to gamble on the traits. Top 5 in the 40-yard dash, 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle. Now the question is, could I wait for him to be there in the... honestly, he might still be there in the 3rd round. KJ Bolden's there. I've used him in another rebuild. I don't want to double up there. Letter grades for Bolden are similar as well. Phillips has a B grade, which actually looks pretty decent. At the strong safety, I just, you know, too much of a game. Like, Khalil Barnes could be fine, could not be. But honestly, I think we might be able to wait here a little bit. So looking at other, we have Leonard Moore at corner. We had a couple nice corners that are still on the board. Moore with B-man coverage, C-zone with our corners. I'm trying to think. We have our 2 superstars. Who's the Carlton Davis? Moore. See, now this is where I'm going to get screwed up just a little bit because I've used 2 realistic draft classes. I know Leonard Moore in the other set of classes was very, very good. I don't know where he's at in these ones, but B-man, C-press. Carlton Davis is not getting any younger. Round of applause. Now I got to make sure I go get that other safety. That was clinched butt cheeks time. KJ Bolden, I was looking, I was like, all right, where are the safeties going? Bolden went. I was like, oh no. Our dude's next up in line. But here we go. That couldn't have worked out any better. All C's, but I'm going off the athletic traits. Ooh, 112 in true value at 73. But he does pull a dev trait. Great athlete. Hell yeah. 2 dev trait DBs added to the secondary. Top of Jeremiah freaking Smith. All right, so take a look at our draft recap, which I think is going to be a pretty damn good draft. Jeremiah Smith, 81. He was slipping. I don't know how far he would have actually slipped, but he fell 32 spots during the draft process somehow. And he, based off of mock draft 5, which we've learned through some absolute meme moments of having the change, you can't necessarily trust it. But he was projected, according to the final mock draft, to fall out of the 1st round, 81. So what in the holy hell did he do to tank his stock that bad. But, I mean, we still paid a pretty penny to make sure that we could go get him. Then we got Leonard Moore, another top 10 talent at corner in the second round. Al's below 70, but he had a dev trait. I got Bryce Thornton from the Gators, 69. We got some lineman help here a little bit. DBs, we got Dante Moore, backup quarterback from Oregon, former 5-star. I'm not necessarily he's going to see the field, but we do have a contract looming for Drake Maye. Who knows if those contract negotiations could go sideways, and we round up with a 71 punter in the 7th round out of Michigan State. To start year number 3, we got 2 things to highlight. One is our new starting lineup. Jeremiah Smith is going to easily walk in to be our new wide receiver number 1 with Pop Douglas and Butte sliding down the depth chart, which gives us overall as a wide receiver room a lot more optimism. Cool for Jolly, our 2nd round pick to pop a dev trait this year. Put up some pretty good production. The O-line looks good. Drake Maye keeps his superstar dev, but he won't if the interceptions are as high as they were a year ago with 20 plus. And I'd like to think the addition of Jeremiah Smith is going to not only put this offense over the top from a passing standpoint, but maybe, just maybe, have Drake Maye throw a little bit less in the turnovers. I'm going to put Moore at corner 2. The bad thing about him is that he's not a scheme fit at all. He's very much a man, not a zone. So it's going to take a little while to develop him. I'm going to pump all of our skill points there into his zone defense. We're going to have Trenton Simpson, our lone free agency signing, is going to start. We're going to go with a complete youth movement at pass rush with Swinson and Ponder, who, as rotational guys last year, were very productive. And now I wonder what they'll be able to do with a full starting amount of reps. So it's a little bit of a youth movement here, but I think at minimum, there's no way this team's 6-11. 9-8 year 1, 6. I'd be happy going 9-8 again, getting back above 500. Also, in our last rebuild with the Saints, I said, if you guys want to see it, I could make and get ready through the people that have modded this, a 2028 draft class. 3 years of realistic players, and overwhelmingly in the comments, you guys wanted to see that. So that is what we're doing. Here are some of the names that are going to feature in this class. I mean, Lenore Sellers is a big reason why. A lot of guys that probably should be in our 2027 class. They just exist in this 2028. And obviously, I don't want to manipulate too much because we do have with the mod, like player portraits and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, there's certain players that are like, you know what? We should do this extra year because there's going to come a point in time that Lenore Sellers would be really fun to feature in one of these rebuilds. You have Bryce Underwood, Mr. Barstool Sports, the $1 million high school player that they just landed in Michigan. He would be a beast. Keelan Russell at Bama looks like he's going to be an incredible talent. Sam Levitt, much like Lenore Sellers, probably should be in the the 2027 class. Could potentially be a first rounder in Levitt, who had an outrageous year with Arizona State. The combo between him and Jordan Tyson was great. You got Marcel Reed, Julian Sand, Holstein. Mensa just got an absolute bag to leave Tulane to go to Duke. So there's some really, really interesting quarterbacks. I'm not overly familiar with the running backs here. We have Harlan Berry, who I think was like a 5-star, like the top recruit at running back. Isaac Brown had a ridiculous season for Louisville. Ahmad Hardy had a huge year for, I think it was Louisiana Monroe, and then he transferred to Mizzou. Those are some of the top running backs. At wide receiver, we have DeCorian Moore, Terry Bussey, Jerome Miles. So now this is where you're kind of, for this class, mixing in like the true freshmen that were really, really good in real life, and then you're trying to like balance that with like the top 5-star type guys from their respected recruiting classes. So that'll be interesting. You have Gatlin Bear here from Oregon, who's white lightning, as white lightning there's ever been. Tight end room, you got Tradez Green, the 6'7" tight end from LSU. Lincoln Cure from Kansas State is actually a really, really good tight end class. You're about 5-6 deep of guys that will be NFL starters. The O-line as well, tackle, it's a very good tackle class. David Sanders, Babaloa, Caleb Lomu, Michael Fauci was a 5-star for Oklahoma. Josh Petty from Georgia Tech was an absolute baller. Michael Carroll was a 5-star recruit. We have Cash Cleveland from Colorado, who is very highly rated. Seyerveld from Ohio State played pretty much immediately and was part of a national championship winning team. Oklahoma probably should be in that 2027 class as a fringe first rounder. Have a couple other guys that were 5-star recruits. Flip it to the defense, again, not like, so guys that maybe if you're like fans of these specific teams, they're going to ring a bell. I'm not overly familiar with a lot of these. I know Bryce Young was like a 5-star, 6'6" pass rusher out of Notre Dame. At D-tackle, I have a couple mix of 5-stars and productive players. A lot of SEC guys. Espinoza, the brother of the Buffalo Bills, he's an absolute baller for Iowa. Linebacking core, Russo had really, really good production for Alabama, seeing the field early. Riddick as well. Linebacking core, Chris Cole, Zayden Walker, Everell Reese. LeVar Arrington Jr. from Penn State. Expectations for him is like, can he be the next in line of like Micah Parsons, Abdul Carters? He got that number 11, didn't he? So that'll be something to keep an eye on. Defensively, the DBs, you have Devin Sanchez, who might be pound for pound the best true freshman entering college football this year. A bunch of these guys are mixed of productive players. Almost all of them are former 5-star recruits. We have Ike Taylor's son, Ivan Taylor, committed to Bama. He's a big-time safety recruit. Jonah Williams was a 5-star safety going to Texas. He's a baller as well. So there's a lot of names here. It's a cool class to mix in. You guys wanted to see it. I'm a man of the people, so we're going to bring it to you. We're here early in year 3 because of the very big contract extension that we're having. I don't want to add any extra zeros to that by Drake Maye getting better and bumping up his overall. We're 2-2, lost our first 2, then we beat the next 2 in the division, and a big win over the Buffalo Bills, who won the division last year. And we are top 5 in passing yards, defense. Everything looks a little bit better. A little bit hot of a start, but last year we started 4-2, and then the wheels absolutely fell off. So hopefully that is not a trend. But looking at our contracts, well, yep, pretty much just got to rip that Band-Aid off. 5-year, $217 million. Donezo. Carlton Davis is now replaceable. Peppers, probably also replaceable. I don't think we're going to be throwing out a lot of money. Now we're just kind of looking at the veterans on this team. Yeah, I think we're good. Gonna need a little bit of a youth movement here. But we drafted a hidden dev safety with the idea that he could succeed Duggar, so we're good there. We signed Trenton Simpson in free agency because Spillane was getting older, so we're good there. Definitely are going to need to look at a free safety replacement for Peppers. We got Leonard Moore to replace Carlton Davis, so we did a really, really good job in that last draft ahead of this year's free agency period, being able to save some money and go with some young bucks. For the second half of the season, Drake Maye has been killing it. Week 9, in an outrageous 490-yard, 6-touchdown performance. That was actually a loss against the Dolphins. Week 10, another one, 355, 5 touchdowns. They did have 3 turnovers with the interception and 2 fumbles, but still playing pretty damn well. And then in the penultimate game of the regular season, another 365, 4-touchdown performance for Maye, which now has the Patriots at 10-6, running away with the division. It's kind of just like exercising old demons. Beat the Bills, prove that we are the best team, and then fucking, of course, we lose a garbage game. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. Steelers had a lock on the 1 seed. But look at that. We are 4th in points, 1st in yards. Defense, not great, but we do have the number 1 passing defense. So there's at least something positive. And now looking at our player stats, Drake Maye was 1 in yards, 1 in touchdowns. Interceptions still, that might have cost him. That's a lot of picks. That can usually be like the difference maker between quarterback of the year and not quarterback of the year, which would give him the X Factor dev trade. Which, I mean, the good news is he's not going to lose his superstar. Last year we were worried he would lose his superstar. This year, I mean, you can't complain about 1st in yards, 1st in touchdowns. Thank God we had Jeremiah Smith. Now, the kind of downside of bringing in someone like Jeremiah Smith is TreVeyon Henderson, who looked like he was about to be the next big running back in the league after his rookie campaign. We've kind of settled that we're going to throw the football a little bit more. And, I mean, we get the weapons, right? Jeremiah Smith, Butte, Pop Doug, look, 3,000-yard receivers. 101 catches, 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. Full disclosure, I cheese it a little bit. I did put Jeremiah Smith in the slot. Butte 11-9, 11-6 for Demario Douglas. Even Jolly the tight end getting involved. This is a prolific passing offense. Defensively, Simpson leads the team in tackles. We get 20.5 sacks on 15 TFLs for Milton Williams, 8 sacks from Braden Swinson, 4 from Christian Barmore, and 7 picks. I mean, incredible. Every single guy had a great year outside of the running back. And the running back, it makes sense because our passing was so good, there just wasn't a whole lot of meat left on the bone for him to get after it. What? Hey, down year, I guess. But it's quarterback award. Anytime you're 1st in yards, 1st in touchdowns, and you make the playoffs for the first time in your career, sure, we'll take it. We will absolutely take it. Drake Maye MVP. Very rare you get MVP under 40 touchdowns. Very rare you get MVP with 18 picks. But we will take that. And we also get Jeremiah Smith for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Running away with that. Drake Maye wins Quarterback of the Year. Did we get DB of the Year for Gonzalez? Wow, 7 picks. Has you coming at 3, huh? But now it just adds a little bit more pressure. And we have a rivalry game. Even though it hasn't really been as much, you still think Colts Patriots, the Peyton Manning Tom Brady rivalry. Well, now we have our own MVP quarterback in Drake Maye at home. Can we get the first playoff win of the Drake Maye era here in year number 3? And we do, by the skin of our teeth. 24-17, a competitive game, but a game that really we should be winning. Drake Maye, oh my God, it's Manning! They got our... That's cool. That's gonna be a fun rivalry. A Colts Manning going against our Patriots. I hope to see them a bunch. I love to see them at one point in this video in the AFC Championship game. Drake Maye protected the football. That is the difference in this one. Our run game was pretty decent. Henderson got involved. Jeremiah Smith, hell of a playoff debut for the rookie. 10 catches, 116 yards. And defensively, Milton Williams with 2 sacks. He is a playoff performer. And we got a Marcus Jones interception. And now in the divisional round, we get a Cam Ward versus Drake Maye matchup. Very interesting. A top 10 passing yards for Cam Ward, so he's playing well. Overall, I mean, Tennessee's kind of solid. I think our team is better, but we're not miles better to the point where it's like, this needs to be a cakewalk to the championship game. But I'd like to think we can, 5 overall points better than the Titans. It's going to be a little bit of a, I don't know what to call it, a Cinderella run. We have the freaking MVP. But we put it on 41-31 in a shootout. Drake Maye with 5 passing touchdowns and almost 400 total yards. Exactly what you want to see. Absolutely love it. 5 times. Now, he did have the pick. He did also have a fumble, which I don't love. But when you're going up against, Cam Ward, former first overall pick, 2 of the best young quarterbacks in the league. Well, let's just pull hold your brakes a little bit. We have the best young quarterback in the league, resides in New England. Run game was kind of Now, why is Isaiah Jacobs, whoever the hell that is, he's kind of putting in work here a little bit. Jeremiah Smith, back-to-back. He doesn't know anything but 100-yard games in the playoffs. Defensively, we got Milton Williams, his 4th sack of this playoff run. Pass rush has been on point. And the rookie Leonard Moore opens his account with a interception in the playoffs. Good for him. And we're now against the 1 seed. Who do they have at quarterback? Is it Will Howard? Actually, you know what? I think they drafted Cade Klubnik, I'll tell you right now, eventually we're going to use him to rebuild. I am a believer. I think so that is their quarterback. That is a potential, honestly, rebuild right there. If I'm thinking where and when can we use Cade Klubnik in a rebuild, it could be the Pittsburgh Steelers. And here we are in year 3. Our Patriots team coming off a 6-11 season. We go 10-7. We have an MVP quarterback, and we are a win away of meeting the Super Bowl. Whoever the hell is going to, honestly, we make this, we're going to win. I have no worries, but we'll upgrade our players. Tough matchup on the road. We're calling it Heinz Field. That's what it is to me, and it'll always be Heinz Field to me. Come on. Come on, baby. Shit. Oh, would have been the Eagles, too. I bet you it was just an ugly game looking at those player of the weeks on both sides of the football. In the championship, we ran out of gas. We scored too many points. Only 7 against TJ Watt. Oh my God, 4 picks, Drake Maye. That's what it was. It wasn't TJ Watt. Good God. Run game non-existent. That's unacceptable. This is just honestly an unacceptable performance. Jeremiah Smith had 1 catch. Our run game had 16 yards. We had 4 fucking picks from our quarterback. Our pass rush had 1 sack. Shout out Milton Williams. Look at that. Their whole secondary just got picks. That is brutal. What a way to lose the year. As for whatever it's worth, we did lose to the eventual Super Bowl champion, so, I guess. At the close of the season, after winning MVP, the expectation was Drake Maye would make the jump from superstar up to an X Factor, which he did. Jeremiah Smith, out of the box, was only he was an X Factor right away. I was going to say, I thought he was only a superstar. But also, if you're going to give an X Factor to anybody in college football, I'd probably say Jeremiah Smith and Dylan Stewart, who likely probably was also an X Factor, the first overall pick of this class, deserve the X Factor. Defensively, I mean, I thought Milton probably should have went up dev trade. Did he lose it because he got old? No. Lead the league in sacks. No dev trade, huh? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna call that card up. We probably should have lost Drake Maye's superstar dev last year. So there's the the breaking even there. We're gonna start the offseason by declining Will Campbell's 5th-year option so that we can pay him almost $100 million next year. Earned it. Been a beast. Now with over $100 million of salary cap and we paid Drake Maye, we are in a terrific spot to spend and upgrade if there is a player worthy. And of course, just a classic, like barely anybody above an 80 free agency class. This is disgusting. You got Zach Bond. Okay. Could use a corner. No. All right. Could use a safety. Kalen Bullock, best available option. I mean, at that price point, I could even still draft someone if there's a BPA. Could totally live with a 25-76 star dev. Welcome to the page. What a terrible free agency role. That might be the worst class across the board I've ever. One of the best players, kickers and punters. Yep. Brutal. So I think going into the draft, we need a guard. That's probably it on offense. Defensively, we've been getting by with like Barmore at D tackle, Keon White and Milton Williams at DN, so I'm fine there. We can go with Owls and Bullock at safety. An edge. We're picking in the the 20s, so there's not probably going to be an edge rusher that's awesome. And I guess technically, like a true nose tackle could be on board. So I did, pass rush, nose tackle, guard. Not a sexy crop of players I'm going to be targeting, but we need them. Taking a look at our final mock draft. First time using this class, Lenora Sellers. Wow, the Jags get up on Trevor Lawrence, and I suppose you're picking first overall at this point. Checks out. Bryce Underwood to the Vikings, so they're giving up on J.J. McCarthy. For us, taking a look at our needs. Autry, that's a big one. He's the best nose tackle in the class at 6'6", 330, so he's going to be long gone. Michael Carroll at guard at 28, going right ahead of us. That could be a call the Bears again. Be like, hey, you want to screw over the Lions? If that's how the board flies, they'd probably want to do business there. Carroll, legit first-round talent. But you know what? I'm going to stay put. There's a reason why. Reason why is this is our final realistic class. Now, Carroll, probably a beast. But next year we're going to the generated classes. I can find a guard easy there. I also have Sierveld here, but look at this. This is why I'm not. We have Quay Rusa from Alabama. A zone, A tackle, A pursuit. He's a speed rusher architect. He's pretty much jack of all trade, master of none. B block shed, B finesse move, B power move, A play rec. Didn't attend the combine, but has some elite traits in jumping and change of direction. I think it's just like, do you go guy that looks really good as an edge rusher or guy that looks really good as a guy that we'd have to trade up for? You go edge rusher every time. There's our dev trade player. Hell yeah. Ooh, we got Keon Keeley. Pour one out for Florida International College Football Dynasty Series. Keeley was a guy we landed in the portal from Bama, and he was so freaking good for us. 6'5", 280. A little bit niche. I'm still looking for a nose tackle. And we got Vic Burley at 6'4", 320. Or Deal from TCU. Ooh, Deal with that. Ooh, he looks pretty good, man. B power move, B tackle, C finesse, B block shed, combine, all goods. Maybe you don't know elites or anything like that. But, this should be a relatively safe pick. 107, and he's 93. I'll take that. All right, Keeley's still here in the 4th round. I gotta. Be like a hybrid rusher. 100 at 125. Let's go. 4 or 5-star recruit. So take a look at our draft recap. Ends up being fairly solid, all things considered. Like 2 points away from having the entire class be 70+. We get a 70 normal on Keeley, 70 normal on Deal, 74 dev trade on Rusa, who unfortunately for Elijah Ponder is going to lose his spot, but we're going to have Rusa. And you know what? I think I might have just overlooked this. Did we get... Nope. Hey Madden, can we also make Madden manage team like our roster? Like, can we get rid of those two options? That should just be one option. But yeah, Brady Swinson went up dev trade. So we're gonna have Simpson on one side. Trenton Simpson was normal dev up dev trade. I just completely overlooked that both these guys got off their normal devs. And then we're gonna have Roussat right outside linebacker. Hell yeah. We have an early bye here in year 4. It's a good time. 2-3, only a game back in the division, but it's still 2-3. You know, we're a win away from the Super Bowl. Starting the year 2-3 is kind of stumbling out the gates, but you look at our numbers, still generally like optimistic. Like the defense, if we're closer to a top 10 defense than not, like that'll be a win. And our offense looks like, you know, from a passing yard standpoint, the MVP is playing strong. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like you shouldn't be losing to the Cardinals. We lost to the Bills. Those are at least 2 of the losses. So I mean, you know, we're in a weird spot. Let's just hope we get hot. We've started hot and finished not so hot, so maybe we'll be the inverse. We start a little mixed bag, finish the year out strong. That's what I want to see. Looking at our contracts, we have so much money. So at this point, like, let's keep Kyle Williams just because he's kind of the exciting wide receiver from that first class. Gives us so much depth at wide receiver. We have TreVeyon Henderson, who's been pretty awesome. I'm probably only bringing him back because he is from that first class. We have Will Campbell on a 6-year, $200 million deal, not even thinking twice about it. Jared Wilson at center, we'll give him a 4-year, $60 million deal, not even think twice about it. Marcus Jones has slowed down a little bit, but I could totally live with giving him like a 2-year, $7 million deal. He's still a superstar to have playmaker. Milton Williams, oh, dude, he's playing so good. Like, this is not a reasonable, affordable contract, but he had, 17 sacks a year ago? I'm going to guess of that 4-year contract, a little bit longer than I'd like, but like at least 2 of those, I'm expecting him still to be a big dog. Barmore's been solid, so we'll get him back on a 2-year, 20. Braden Swinson is kind of, you know, slowly started to emerge, so 3-year, it's under $20 million. That is a bargain deal. Probably could move on from Gibbons. So yeah, we'll come back to the table for Henderson, even though it's a little faux pas to pay a running back. We'll keep him on the team because we have more than enough salary cap. We've already paid Drake Maye. Free agency's been dog shit. So let's keep our good talent in-house. For the interview number 4, we go 10-7. So copy and paste for where our record was a year ago. And luckily for us, that is our 2nd straight divisional title, having the tiebreaker over the Bills. So that's nice. Passing offense, pretty good. Defense overall, close to top 10. So it's like all the numbers and ranges that was kind of vibe with. Drake Maye, 2nd in the NFL in yards, 9th in touchdowns, which kind of sucks. His interceptions are down a little bit, so it's a mixed bag. But almost anytime you have a quarterback go for almost 5,000 yards, you're not going to be overly critical. Run game was solid. Jeremiah Smith crushed it with almost 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns, over 1,000 for Mario Douglas. Butte was solid. Jolly was solid. Defensively, Bullock, the free agent, leads the team. 157 tackles, had 2 picks. We get 11 sacks from the rookie Roussat. 8.5 from Barmore, 8 from Swinson, 6 from Milton Williams, who we just backed the Brinks truck up for. Damn. Did not, you know, you never want to pay a guy that I don't love the details of the contract, and then he has a down year immediately. But the positive news is Swinson's kind of becoming a dude, and what a, I mean, that could be defensive rookie of the year for Roussat. 5 picks, Gonzalez. He's really emerged these last 2 years as one of the best ball hawks in the NFL. Wow, Justin Fields MVP. There you have it. But for defensive rookie of the year, Roussat runner-up to the linebacker, Jonah Ajonyi. I think he's from Notre Dame. We get a tough matchup in the wildcard round. The Baltimore Ravens, who are better than us in every single category. I mean, look at that. I like to think we have a slightly better defense, even though we are giving up the most on the defensive side. How are we only an 84 rated defense? Oh, yeah, let's go. 27-17. And look, we got our run through the North. That's a statement win, man. I would probably say, pound for pound, if you're not playing the Chiefs, the second most annoying team from the AFC side is Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Look at that. Drake Maye, a clean performance. 200 yards, no touchdown, no picks. 2 tutties. Run game was all right. Receiving game, sure. Defensively, 2 sacks. Oh, yeah, there we go. We got the pressure. We got the turnover. Marcus Jones. And with that, our eyes set on Cade Klubnik and the Steelers, who, you know, defending Super Bowl champions. They sent us home in the championship game a year ago, so this is our opportunity to get a little revenge. Send them home. Get back. Second straight AFC championship game. Cade Klubnik against Drake Maye. What are we talking about? 15-10. Gonzalez gets a pick. I mean, this Drake Maye. Last time we played the Steelers, Drake Maye, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This time, nothing, dude. We cannot figure out the Steelers' defense. I mean, I don't know what else we could do. Like our rankings, like what we are as a team. We throw the football. Drake Maye gets like 300 yards a game, 2-3 touchdowns. But whenever we play the Steelers, it's like, nah, we're like Army offense. Luckily, no Steelers dynasty, as they make 2 straight Super Bowls but lose to the Detroit Lions. For our team, as far as depth traits are concerned, offensively, no depth traits up or down. Defensively, we lose the superstar on Jones. He's just getting up there in age a little bit. And 11 sacks for a rookie does not give you a dev trait increase, I guess. All right, cool. A little annoyed, honestly, on the defensive side of the ball. Dev traits have been few and far between, and we've had some pretty decent seasons. You know the deal. We're going to get ahead of that contract for Fano, but I do want to spend in free agency. It's been a minute since we've won a Super Bowl within 5 years. Feels like we've been going year 6, year 7. I want to be, you know, as long as free agency is there to play. It takes 2 to tango. I'm willing to spend some money to see if we can make a real go of it and get this done in 5 years. Then we go to free agency. Kicker, 30-year-old corner. Why is it so bad? What do we got here? Superstar Dallas Goedert, so he's 34. Dude, this is I mean, we don't need much. Like, this would surely be like, just give me, like, that guy is so freaking good. Let's get him on the team. And, yeah. That is 3 straight years of trash in free agency. That means all of our attention goes towards the draft, where we need a guard. Again, we're pretty... I could use, honestly, RB2 does get involved in our scheme and system. So I'd say an RB2... at some point, definitely not first round, but guard, RB2 on offense, defensively, inside linebacker. You know, if BPA is a corner, just because Jones's regression is starting to hit, could consider that. But man, don't need much. So at pick 26, we need, well, guard's probably going to be the get, because I scouted the guards. I didn't really scout the off-ball linebackers. Couple guys that look like they would be pretty good here. Ross are in a 4.49, 4.45 on Nugent, 4.44 on Pleasance, which you could live 4.51 on Bob Bishop from LSU. It's like all those guys, you know, from a casual quick look, like there's some linebackers with some speed there. RB2, I'm not going to consider. So looking at guard, I did scout Donahue. Not great value there, but there we go. We got the double first-round talents. Keenan Robinson. Tiebreaker will probably go bench press. Okay, we're going to go him. 41 reps on the bench press. Should be a lock for a depth trait. Ooh, 42 in true value at 26. Not the best value pick, but 350-pound hidden dev guard, day 1 starter, plug-and-play, high upside. Let's see if we can find ourselves a nice middle linebacker. Pleasance, double Bs. 4.37. I'm in. 37. Yeah. 4.37 speed linebacker. Yeah, you're on my team. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna take a double swing because we have Bob Bishop from LSU who ran the 4.48 elite speed as well. Top 30 player, first round. And okay, yep, there we go. Yep. So take a look at our draft recap. Absolutely crushed it, dude. Look at that. One player was below a 70, and we got bit a little bit on the athlete. Look at that. 7, you know, hey. Why we draft this guy? Oh, hidden dev speeder with speeder. He's a speeder. 97 speed, 99 acceleration, 98 agility, 96 jumping, 94 change of direction. Yeah, that's why we got him. They exist. Every now and again, you'll get that 4.24 UDFA guy. Always worth looking out. And we just figured, much like the linebackers, give me the 2.42 speed guys. 2 absolute freak of nature, almost clones of one another between Watkins and Russell. So I suppose this rebuild goes a little long. Like, those are the two guys that, like, you know, second contract comes around, we're probably going to give all that money to Jeremiah Smith. So Butte and Pop Douglas, well, we got two young guys that probably could step up just pure speed. We got a 71 running back, Pemberton normal dev, Bishop 74 dev trade, Pleasant 74 dev trade, Robinson 73 dev trade. Oh, Madden generated classes. Have I missed you so? No real generational guy. Hell of a get, though. First pick overall to the Commanders, 81 corner. Kind of common, though. Not uncommon. I will say, a 77 linebacker in the third round. Great value for the Panthers. To go to year 5, the question is, are you good enough? Is this team good enough? Because I'm good enough. But is this team good enough to put it all together here in year 5 and get this one over the line? I think we're 2 rebuilds in a row that we haven't been able to get it done in 5 years. I say yes. We have an MVP caliber quarterback. Our passing offense is always one of the best in the league. Our overall offense is one of the best. Our defense is top 10. It's just nothing about how we play in the playoffs is reflective of how we play in the regular season. Like, it just feels like throwing the football is pulling teeth for this team in the postseason, where in the regular season we throw it consistently over the last 3-4 years better than any team in the league. So if we can find that consistency, if Drake Maye and Jeremiah Smith, Butte and Pop Douglas can get hot in the playoffs, got a new rookie there at right guard to, like, give us probably the best offensive line in the league, at least in the AFC. Offense shouldn't be a problem. Defense, we have a lot of guys rolling into their prime. That front three is good. Gonzalez has been one of the best corners in the NFL. Our secondary, our safeties, there's just maybe not, you know, we don't have that X factor, I guess. It would be cool to have that X factor pass rush, but I mean, it takes a village. This defense is a village. I think this defense as a unit is very good, better than the individual talent. But I mean, if I had to nitpick and say offense, that should be good. Defense, I guess we don't necessarily have on paper a bunch of game changers, but defense hasn't been the problem. Our offense has been terrible in the playoffs, uninspiring in the playoffs, great in the regular season. That needs to change, or we're not getting this done in 5 years. Into our bye week, week 6, 4-1. I mean, not the first time we've been here. We were 4-2 back in year 2 and finished that year 6-11, but our team's a lot better than where it was at that point. 88 overall, 91 offense, 88 defense. I mean, our defense has gone up 4 overall points from where it was a year ago, which is awesome. You look at the stats. I mean, our overall points per game allowed could be better, but our offense is on point, and the parts of our defense, playing pass, playing the run, both top 10, which I'm happy with. Looking at our contracts, well, here's the good news about free agency being so bad, is we're going to be able to keep everybody that we want to. I think Bullock's been solid, 2-year, $6 million. I'll give him 7, honestly. I do like Butte. I mean, if I can just go half and half, this would probably be my only offer. 55, I can live with that. He wants more. There's no interest. We have the depth. Jolly's been solid at tight end. 3-year, $30 million. Lock that in. Keon White's kind of just been a guy, replaceable. Michael Wenu, you know, under $10 million for like a 1-year stopgap at guard. That's a pretty easy decision. Everyone else, you know, it kind of makes sense. We got a huge contract extension coming up with Jeremiah Smith. But we'll definitely get Bullock locked in. Butte, we'll see. If I'm raging and we miss, you know, we crash and burn out of the playoffs again, I might give him a generous contract offer, the final negotiation period before the offseason starts. Just to, you know, try to go. Because, I mean, we let him walk. We're still going to have a hole at wide receiver, and he's probably going to be the best wide receiver. He's probably going to be the best free agent, given the last couple free agency classes we've seen on the entire market. I'd rather keep that in-house. We're on fire. On fire. Running through the division. Player of the week performance, Drake Maye, 3 tuds, almost 400 yards. And it feels like the interceptions have been cut down upon. And you know what? I like my justification there. It's like, you know he's going to be the best free agent available. Let's try to get Butte's deal done in season. Another good news. Okay, first of all, we just put up almost 60 points on the Jets with no player of the week performance. But we got the Steelers, who have been our arch nemesis. Let me move the webcam for a sec. They're 3-7, so they're on pace to not make the playoffs, which, I mean, in terms, it means we're going to play the Chiefs or something stupid like that. But man, oh man, how can't we beat them? However, after the Steelers lost, Butte thought it through, sat down with his family. We got him locked in. The good and bad news. The bad news is we lost our final 2 games in a row. The good news is that we already had the conference wrapped up at 12-5, our best record of the rebuild. We are the 1 seed in the AFC. Pretty rare you get that with 12 wins. It is also our 3rd straight divisional title. So much like the Tom Brady years, the Patriots, Tom Brady didn't have to deal with the Bills team that's that good, but the Patriots are back on top, ruling the AFC East. Drake Maye killed it. We might have a second MVP. That's way better than his actual MVP season, so we will see. Run the ball back over 1,000 yards for Henderson. Double-digit touchdowns for our rookie power back. We got 3,000-yard receivers headlined by Jeremiah Smith with 123 catches, almost 1,700 yards, 16 tutties, almost 100 yards a game. What a beast. Defensively, 19.5 sacks from Milton Williams, 11 from Quay Russaw, 8.5 from Barmore, 6.5 from Swinson, picks 5, leading with Marcus Jones. Yep, that locks it in. 2 MVPs in 5 seasons for Drake Maye. We also have Jeremiah Smith winning Offensive Player of the Year, and both Maye and Jeremiah Smith winning their respected positions of the year. Hell yeah. So, I mean, if not now, wait, dude. We have our 2 best players are unstoppable. Our passing offense is unstoppable. However, I mean, this is going to be the exact test we need to see. Through the regular season, it's a cheat code. But in the postseason, they've not been good. So we start against a below 500 Bills team who only made the playoffs because the AFC was hot trash. This would be so fitting for them to beat us. We've won the division 3 years in a row, and then we beat up on... There we go. At least we beat up on them. Didn't lose that one. That would have been embarrassing. We are in our 2nd AFC championship of the video. But, I mean, to be honest, 23 points. I'll take that. That's not lighting the Bills up. That's a solid performance from our 2-time MVP. Our run game, I don't know. I mean, it's weird, dude. I think if you went back and looked at every one of our playoff games, it's almost like the RB2 has a better game than the RB1. Pop Douglas over 100 yards. Defensively, we got 2.5 sacks from Russaw, who's been an incredible pick. We thought about trading up, going guards. Let's stay put and get a pass rusher. That has been a very, very smart decision, as he's been, everything that we could have asked for a... he's a hybrid, kind of off-ball, in that, Jahad Campbell role, and he is thriving. And now in the championship game, the 4-seed Texans. But on the other side, we can get there. The 1-seed Giants choked. The 2-seed Lions choked. So you're kind of getting, meh from the NFC side. Hell of a year. Perfect roll. No Chiefs. Didn't have to deal with the Ravens. Texans aren't like a perennial big dog by any means. They're a hell of a team, though. 89 overall, 89 across the board. This is the number 1 offense against the number 2 offense. They are really good at stopping the rush, but look at there you go. This is the one example when I wish it was Madden wasn't super tied into playbooks. Because in this matchup, this is the worst matchup possible for the Houston Texans. They are the worst passing yard defense in the NFL. We are the best passing yard offense in the NFL. It is a passing league. We have also overall a better there is no way with injuries off we lose this game. We are a terrible matchup for the Houston Texans. Probably worse than any other team in the league. Because we want to throw the football and they don't want teams throwing the football. They can't stop teams throwing the football. This needs to be a game where our MVP quarterback and our offensive player of the year put up 40-some points. Luckily, it was still about to ask 31-7. Drake Maye, 300 yards and a hat trick of touchdowns. And the Patriots in year 5. We just got a chance. We're in the Super Bowl. Looking at this performance, again, it's just a perfect role of who we could play. We forced 2 picks on C.J. Stroud. Drake Maye, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Run game was solid. Jeremiah Smith was unstoppable. Defensively, we got 2 sacks from Barmore. Our pass rush has been contributing. We got the 2 picks from our 2, at one point in time during this rebuild, superstar corners. And it is the Tom Brady Super Bowl. Bucks, Patriots. I mean, we are a lot better overall. They have a slightly better defense as far as points per game. One less point per game. But other than that, we are better than the Bucks in just about every single category. We'll upgrade our play. Look right there. Boom. Jeremiah Smith is going to the Super Bowl as a member of the 99 Club. I wish they still had the gold gear. But you know what? I'll give him the closest thing I can. A C on his chest. Because I need him having a 200 yards here today. But I do want to get a little sneak peek here of the Bucks roster. because they probably don't have Baker Mayfield. Like, there's a lot of turn. Like, Baker Mayfield's gone. Mike Evans got to be gone. Chris Godwin's probably gone. So what is, like, the core here? They have Connor Weigman at quarterback. Ugh. Bucky Irving, so they run the football. They got McMillan and Ibuka. Godwin is still hanging on. Vernell Brown, big get from the Gators. Wirfs, but I mean, Wirfs is regressing. He's well into the 90s, so he's fallen into the 80s. I mean, their O-line is solid. Cansey's a superstar. Amari Adams from Clemson looks pretty good. Amari, they like guys named Amari. Yaya Diaby's up to an X factor. Christian, I mean, that is, I'm going to be honest with you, dude. This is not a great team. I would be very upset. Like, the only way they win on paper is like, oh, Bucky Irvin's unstoppable. Other than that, this should be a comfortable Super Bowl win. So, everything I just said, right? We're better than them in every single category. They don't even have an 80 overall quarterback. That is why also we're probably going to lose this game. Because Madden loves more than any game in the history of humankind, outside of like being last place in Mario Kart, and it gives you like the catch up, to like, hey, you think you know you're better? You think you have a better team? Actually, psych, we're going to make this other team just play out of their minds. Luckily, we do go in second half winning. We had a good drive here. Kick a field goal. Give me a touchdown buffer. There we go. So I'm sure they're going to get it. I mean, our defense is holding the field goals, which is nice. Our offense gets a 30 bomb. Up a field goal. Ooh, there we go. Kalen Bullock, 58-yard pick. And we can't get a touchdown. We're going to get another pick. Marcus Jones. Oh, man, I thought we were going to lose this one. Thank God. And, I mean, honestly, needs to also be said, very good roll. Like, there was no one in that playoff run outside of the fact that, like, oh, we're going to be like, it's classic Madden and good teams going to lose just because they like to do that. We should have won every single game. Championship game, worst mismatch for the Texans. This game here, that is a Cinderella Bucks. What were they, a 4 seed, 5 seed? They didn't have a good, like, I literally think outside of running back, we had a higher overall in every single position than they did. So we got a very good roll. It's been a minute since we've got one of these off-season rebuilds done and in the books within 5 years. But Mike Vrabel gets the job done, and I think it's very easy to see with 40 points, 4 touchdowns, 300 yards, our 2-time NFL MVP, Drake Maye, is also Super Bowl MVP. So as we always like to do at the end of a rebuild, we like to look at the player stats, what they're able to accomplish in said rebuild. And Drake Maye, just under 26,000 total passing yards, 181 touchdowns, 87 picks. I'm not gonna lie, for a 2-time MVP, those are probably some of the lower numbers we've seen for a guy that's been able to win an MVP twice. And I mean, obviously, I think the second time he won the MVP, legit MVP number. First time he won MVP, it felt like it was more like everyone kind of had a down year, and they just had to give it to a quarterback. TreVeyon Henderson, just under 5,000 yards rushing, 39 touchdowns. Pop Douglas, 6,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, 5,500 yards, 39 touchdowns for Butte. So pretty good that those guys, carved out a really nice role for themselves. But it was the addition of Jeremiah Smith, who I don't know what felonies that he committed to fall to where he was supposed to go in the draft, but I wasn't going to bite. We were going to always be in the business of trading up to get him. We got him. Mike Vrabel, Ohio State guy, getting maybe the greatest Ohio State wide receiver of the last couple years, and they've had some outstanding ones. He was incredible. 4,400 yards, 41 touchdowns in 3 seasons. Defensively, as far as homegrown guys, you got Jones, 600 tackles. We got 75 sacks from Milton Williams. Lived up, I think it's fair to say, to the gigantic contract they gave him to leave the Eagles. 47.5 sacks from Barmore. 23 picks, Gonzalez and Jones. They were awesome. Defense was generally pretty damn good. And there you have it, fellas. As voted on by you guys, you want to see the Patriots up next, and we're able to get out of here in 5 years, so that's always a great fun time. But let me know in the comment section below which team you guys want to see next for our Madden 25 off-season rebuilds. Patriots kind of had like a lot of momentum, but like outside of that, I've seen the Bears a lot. I've seen the Panthers a lot. 49ers, now that Brock Purdy got a contract extension. I've seen a lot of people want me to do the Eagles, and that one's going to be a little bit different because obviously taking over the best team in the league, it's going to be like, can I win 5 straight Super Bowls with that one? But that's obviously going to get done as an Eagle fan. But whichever one you guys want to see next, let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to go with the most popular option. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. The likes in the comments help out my videos with the YouTube robots. A battle that is worse than going up against the Madden sim is my channel going up against the Madden algorithm robots of YouTube. So anytime you guys can comment and like, that just helps my video, helps my channel. That's all I ask for in return. And that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, until next time, it's your boy C4. Say peace. I love you. Have a good one.